Hello, and thank you for watching this video, the second of two explaining the recent changes to Ministerial Development Review, or MDR as we call it for short. This one focuses on the processes, the people involved, how it works in practice, and the guidelines that we've produced. And I'm accompanied on this video by Paul Wood, Director of Ministries. MDR involves three main participants: the minister in the active work, the lay contributor, and the ordained contributor, who is typically, but not exclusively, the minister in oversight.
The lay contributor will be somebody who's embedded in the local context and have the skills to encourage and guide reflection on the feedback received as part of the process. They typically convene the meeting and prompt the process along. The ordained contributor will be the minister in oversight for the minister, unless there are special circumstances why that should be otherwise. They will have a good understanding of the ministry context and as a consequence be able to find ways to engage with the people's experience of that minister in action. Both of these roles have outline descriptors, and of course if you want to know more, they're included in the support materials.
As it happens, those support materials have been changed substantially. They now consist of a pamphlet, 3 forms to help the process along, and 2 role outlines. You can download them or print them yourselves. But if you find you need braille or large print copies, then please do get in touch and we can arrange to have them produced for you.
It's important that the right people with the right skills are in the MDR conversation. And we hope by drawing your attention to the skills needed in the role outlines, members of the triplets will be the right fit.
For MDR to be a fruitful experience for all involved, it needs to be enfolded in an ethos of prayer and trust. It needs to be based on a foundation of local contextual feedback, thinking about what it is to encounter the ministry in action. It also needs to consider the reflections of the minister themselves and the way they relate to the church, their accountability as found in the Ministerial Covenant, and about the whole ministry that they operate in. All this means that MDR can consider the complicated landscape of ministry and take time to celebrate and renew ministry in that place.
The process looks something like this. The annual cycle begins partway through the year, when the lay contributor writes to the supervisor and asks the supervisor for the supervision to MDR feedback form. A date is fixed for the initial preliminary meeting, where the triplet meet to review the form, the ministerial covenant, and any reflective work done by the minister themselves. The group will then seek to focus and decide on the topic for the year, and then they'll seek to obtain the relevant feedback. This meeting can easily take place on Zoom or similar, and it only needs to be a very short meeting.
The feedback is initially handled by the lay contributor, and it is sought from local church members and peers. Usually it's agreed that responses will be collated and summarised anonymously, apart from that given by the minister in oversight. Obtaining and giving feedback is an important part of MDR, and more information is offered in the support materials or can be discussed at a training event local to you.
The minister will of course want to take some time to reflect further on this aspect of their ministry in readiness for the MDR meeting.
The meeting takes place. An agenda and guideline is available if it's useful to you, and any outcomes can be agreed there. You'll expect it to be wrapped in prayer and consider the feedback and how that might impact on the work of the minister, their congregations or community. You might also expect to think about anything that the church, circuit or district might need to do as a consequence of all you've discussed.
At the end of the MDR meeting, 2 forms are completed. One that looks at the area for action or learning and development, and the other is offered back into the supervisory space. We know that some districts have used a convener or MDR administrator to monitor the process or match ministers to contributors in the past. This really is no longer necessary, but if you find it a helpful addition, then of course please do take a look at how such a role might best support the work.
There's been a lot to take in this video material, so if you think you'd like to know more or discuss it further, then our friends in the Learning Network will be offering support sessions in the next connectional year. Keep your eyes peeled for their advertising and training calendar.
And if you have any questions, please do feel free to email us in the Connectional team. We're on mvw@methodistchurch.org.uk. That's mvw@methodistchurch.org.uk. Thank you.